All right, we now revisit a subject from Wednesday's show, and that would be the NFL schedule, which was released in its entirety on Wednesday night. We covered what we were looking forward to in week one, but now we'll each give our 10 or 9 best games of the 2021 season. All right, Drink, which games were fortunate enough to make your list?
So, like he said, your boy came up one short. So I got nine. So I go from 9 to 1. My number 9 game will be Green Bay at Arizona in week 8. That's a Thursday night football game. I think at that point we will know what Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, how that's going to fall out. And then we will know if Arizona is going to be an up and comer or we just flopping around with Arizona at this point. Look, you already know my opinion on a coach. If we don't know that they're gonna like be a somewhat of a playoff team by then most likely what I've been saying is gonna come true. Somebody's getting fired. My number 8 is the Distillers at Chargers, week 11. That's a Sunday night football game. Listen, I know what people saying to Chargers. This dude really reached in the bag for the Chargers, didn't he? And I did. I just feel like it's some. I really want to see something out of the Chargers. This is one of them teams that we talk about. You got the keys to pretty much every other position on there. You got a second year quarterback, but you got a first year coach. I'm curious to see if the Chargers think they made the right decision or if they really did. Like, I want to see if Justin Herbert was that just a fluke rookie season, or is he really the goods? And it ain't a better defense to see if he got the goods than the Steelers. So I was invested in that. So I want to see you got kind of like the old guard and Ben Roethlisberger, and then you got the new guard and Justin Herbert. So those type of storylines intrigue me. So I'm excited to see that. My number 7 game, the Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks, week 5, Thursday night. You already know I'm for this one. First of all, it's a divisional matchup. Second of all, I want to see at that point, I would know if Matthew Stafford is taking advantage of the situation that he's in. With upgrades all around him, you're going to play a team that's usually on the top of the division year in and year out. You can, possibly say this is Russell Wilson's division. Even though they don't win the division every year, Russell Wilson is like the face of the NFC West to me. He's like the constant because the other 3 teams normally rotate their quarterbacks or rotate their stars or whatever, outside of the likes of like a Donald or somebody like that. But Russell Wilson has been with Seattle so long, we forget like he's been there for a while. Him and Pete Carroll, that's a combination that's been there in that division for a while. So you got the new guy coming in to see can he dethrone the old guy. I like that in week 5. My number 6 game, the Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens, week 12, Sunday night football. Listen, another divisional matchup. Um, Once again, for me, it's one of them things. By this time, we should know if Mayfield is the guy for the Browns. At the same time, we should know is the Ravens, if they did enough to help Lamar Jackson elevate them to the next level. And when I say did enough, I'm predominantly talking about did they get him enough weapons? Did they sign enough players that help him get over the hump? Because that's what we've been waiting on. We just been waiting for him to get enough where he don't got to run the ball every third play. And then my 5th game was the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right, I said Jacksonville. Hold up, moment of silence.
Oh,
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals, week 4, Thursday night football game. Here's the deal. This is one of many games that newly acquired first overall. Oh, hold on. Let me back that up. This game will have the last 2 first overall picks of the NFL draft. But it's pretty unique because these guys played against each other in college. They actually played against each other in the national championship game in college. And they both was first overall pick. So let's see who is who got the goods. I would think in this department, by the way, that Joe Burrow has the advantage. Second year, got some more talent. But it will be an interesting storyline to sell to fans. You know, when you got both of these guys went #1 overall, both of these guys played each other in college for all the marbles. Now they see what they got at the next level. My #4 game, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, Week 2 Sunday Night Football. Listen, it's nothing else to be said there. We know why we're watching that game. It's the quarterback action, and it's the quarterback action. So we already know this is the future of the AFC, or at least what we think to be the future of the AFC. So that game sells itself. No more of that. My #3 game, the Cowboys and the Buccaneers, Week 1 Thursday Night Football. Listen, for what it's worth, this game is what I would call like in boxing or UFC, I would call this like a money grab because I don't particularly think the Cowboys are gonna have. I mean, I think they'll be able to be competitive with the Buccaneers, but it's the Cowboys, America team. You know, they do numbers. Their ratings are through the roof. Even when they suck, they still through the roof. But this year they supposed to be back better than ever. Dak back, you know, so on and so forth. And then, you know, Tom Brady just doing his thing with the Bucs, coming back to defend that crown. They looking to be more poised, win more games, possibly have one of those perfect seasons that he tried to accomplish when he was with the Patriots. So that's going to be interesting. But this just, for my money, this is just like one of those money grab games. You see Cowboys, you see the Bucs, you sit in the seat, and they the defending champs. You know, we always know the defending champs usually play the first game of the opening season. So that's that. #2, Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs. We know what that is. That's a rematch from the AFC Championship game last year. Week 5 Sunday Night Football. You know, we want to see what team that did what at that point. Did the Bills do enough to beat the Chiefs this time? Or are the Chiefs still going to be a step ahead of the Bills? That's what we want to know. That's what we're going to find out in Week 5 or not. Maybe, yeah, you know, we'll see. That's why we play the games, and that's why we watch them. So that's my #2. And #1 is fairly simple. It's the hottest ticket in town. The Buccaneers going to the Patriots Week 4, Sunday Night Football. We know why we there. We know what we want to see. And it's a reason why these tickets are out. Like, I think they said the cheapest ticket is somewhere around $1,500 or something like that. Like, it's ridiculous. So with all that said, those was my 9 games and the little brief story behind it.
Just for context, I went through each week, just jotted down games that caught my eye. I ended up coming up with 24, none from week 8 and none from week 16. I was surprised that I didn't write anything down from week 16. And then I narrowed it down from there. I'll get to my list in 1 minute, but there's a couple things. I like quarterback matchups, rivalry games. Those are a couple of the big ones. And then like revenge games. Those are like 3 of the main topics I look for. In retrospect, I don't know why I even bothered with Detroit and the Rams. It'd be Matt Stafford against his old team, but like in retrospect, I shouldn't even bother with kneecaps and all the rest of it. Well, that'd be Jared Goff's revenge too. He come back, you know, that wasn't nothing. I do want to get this in there too. Arizona and Cleveland Week 6, Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. I think that's somewhat interesting. And Trevor Lawrence in the first 6 weeks of the season, weeks 3 through 6, actually, he's gonna face Kyler Murray in week 3, Joe Burrow in week 4, and Tua in week 6. So we'll get an idea of, you know, how he stacks up against his, you know, contemporaries pretty early on. And that Trevor Lawrence Joe Burrow game in week 4, that's an honorable mention for me. Okay. Anyways, to the list, at 10, Seattle and Green Bay in week 10. Russell Wilson, and by the way, just as a caveat, Green Bay's making on this list a few times. I'm assuming Aaron Rodgers is going to suit up for him because that's all I can do. But Russell Wilson, typically, and Aaron Rodgers, those are always entertaining games. Great quarterback matchup. 2 teams that typically, you know, are in the playoff hunt or winning divisions. They're always there. So, yeah, Seattle and Green Bay at 10. New England and Carolina in week 9. Cam Newton's return to Carolina, possibly. I'm looking at that as a good storyline. Interested to see how the Panthers receive him back in that stadium. I would think they'd be really receptive of him. I hope he gets a great ovation. He deserved it, had a great career there. That's number 9. Number 8, Tampa Bay going to Los Angeles to face the Rams. I'm looking at that. You got them early on as, making an NFC championship game. I think that's something we could see. So I think could be it's early in the season. Not sure how the Rams are going to look early on with Matthew Stafford, but same thing with Tom Brady early on in the season with the Bucs last year. But I think this is something that we could project as a potential matchup we see again in the playoffs. That's why they're at number 8. Number 7, interconference quarterback matchup. I don't think we've seen this one yet. So I'm looking at Green Bay and Baltimore. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson. Obviously a big contrast in styles there, but sometimes you have quarterback matchups that you can't miss them. That's going to be in week 15. So you got to think both of those teams are going to be, trying to position themselves for the playoffs. A rare interconference battle that late that's going to have major implications on both sides. In week 13 for number 6, I think is still the best rivalry in the game. Baltimore taking on Pittsburgh. Going to be somewhat late in the regular season. Same thing. Playoffs are going to be, both teams should be around. They'll be fighting for the division. That's why that's at number 6. Also, it could be the last time we see Big Ben take on Baltimore at home. So another big reason to keep an eye on that one. Week 5 on Sunday Night Football, Buffalo and Kansas City. Josh Allen, was in the MVP conversation last year. He looked like he was the best quarterback in the AFC, perhaps next to Patrick Mahomes. He gets another opportunity here to see how he stacks up against them, rematch the AFC Championship game. So that'll definitely be worth watching to see if Buffalo has taken a step forward to where they can seriously challenge Kansas City. I think that's definitely worth watching. Number 4, Week 17, Monday night game. I didn't know they did that on Week 17, but that's what the schedule says. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. That's another great rivalry I'd like to see. Hopefully everybody keeps their helmets on. Myles Garrett behaves and all that. But again, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, that AFC North, I think it's going to be ultra competitive with Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. Anytime we see those teams get together, it's going to be worth watching. And then this is one we talked about last year. I think it made both of our lists. Kansas City and Baltimore. It's the quarterbacks, no question about it. Lamar Jackson, I believe so far, he hasn't had the best of success in these games against Patrick Mahomes, but he gets them at home in week 2. Opportunity for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, make a big early season statement. We'll see how that one goes. That one always has to be up there. In week 9, another Kansas City makes a list again, as is Green Bay. Green Bay taking on Kansas City. That might be the best quarterback matchup of the season. Who we thought was the most talented quarterback of all time at one point, Aaron Rodgers. Now against, no question, at this point, the most talented quarterback of all time, Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if we've seen that matchup yet. I don't think we have. But that's something. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, sign me up. That's all you need to say. And then in the end, we reached the same conclusion for the number 1 game on the list. Tampa Bay, New England, week 4, Sunday Night Football. Brady and Bill getting back together. We'll see how that goes. No reason. I'm surprised the tickets ain't higher for that one. Brady making his return to New England. See how the reception go. The ovation is for him there, but there's a lot of good stuff on the schedule. I wish I could have put a few more games on. That's why we have honorable mention, but plenty of stuff to look forward to. But I think those are your 10 best games of 2021.